Hello. For whatever reason, Streamlabs was giving me some trouble here and it wasn't connecting properly, but it seems to be working fine now. Hello, everyone. My name is Mitchell Mander, and welcome to my live stream slash video slash whatever you want to call this. We're going to be talking about Pokemon Horizons episode 26 today. We're also going to be talking about the new opening because, oh boy, we got a new opening. And the ending changed too, but that opening though. So we're going to be doing that, and we're going to be talking about the episode and some other stuff as well. So, if you're somebody that's running across this channel for the first time, this video for the first time, you like this type of content, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, watch as much as you can. It really helps. Also join the chat and just hang out. Yeah, we can sit here, chill, talk about Horizons. I also do video game streams as well, so if you're into that, you should check those out as well. Anywho, we're gonna go ahead and give it maybe a couple minutes. I usually wait maybe like 5 to 10 minutes so that people can show up and start chatting here. And then at that point, we just I basically go through the episode, I review it, and then give a rating, then I leave it to the chat to leave some questions or have some discussions, and then, yeah. And then from there, we talk about whatever after a certain point, but the video is mostly focused around Pokemon Horizons, so yeah, just so we're clear. So if anybody's discovering this video, like, stream like a half a year from now, just giving you a little intro. So yeah, Psyism, what is up? The best anti-poke opening, no contest. I mean, this was a very stellar opening. I guess we'll go ahead and start with that, just because when we get to the episode, I'll just talk about the actual episode. That opening, that is, yeah, I would say that might be the best opening in the entire run of the series. At least the best looking one. There might be a few other openings that may not look as good, but might be a little bit better just because of the content in it. But what we saw in this one was just fantastic. It honestly looked like it came straight from the shading and like how the animation looked and throughout it. It really reminded me of the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War anime, that at least core one of it, because it basically had that same kind of aesthetic to it. A little bit of Demon Slayer as well and JJK, so that's really cool. So yeah, that opening was really, really good. The ending, on the other hand, I was very less enthusiastic about. It's basically another verse of like the quote-unquote like Pokemon rap or whatever you want to call it that Nico and Roy do, and then they have their special guest, which was Freed. They just swapped out Pokemon, and then the verses were slightly different. It basically was like another like verse in the song or whatever you want to call it, verse 2 or whatever. So it was. It is what it is, I guess. I hope we get like an actual like ending song or like ending like at some point. Like prior to Journeys, we had that, and then we occasionally had our like raps or whatever. But like Sun and Moon had its endings. Yeah, and Journeys was Journeys, but yeah. Opening 2 looked like openings from anime medium. Yeah, it looks like it came straight up from another series. That's why it surprised me. I'm like, this doesn't look like Pokemon at all. They put a lot of effort into it, which I gotta applaud the animators and everybody that was involved with making this opening, because my goodness, what a treat it was. Liko felt less energetic in ending 2, yeah. Hopefully we get like an actual like ending song that's not just them talking about like naming off Pokemon. We got that with Journeys, we're getting that again with Horizon, so yeah. That would be something that I would like to see change. Maybe with ending 3. Excuse me a second. Okay. Alright, I'm going to give it like another minute. If not, I'm going to start reviewing the episode. And then we'll see whenever people start showing up. Let me get some water here. Get myself prepped. But yeah, before we get started, how are you all doing? To the 3 people that are currently watching. Silent, eh? Oh, this is your last chance before I start reviewing the episode. Got 10 seconds. At least from what I can tell from my end. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and review or discuss episode 26 of Pokemon Horizons. So, I already talked about the opening. The opening was amazing. The ending needs some work. Hopefully we get an actual song in the future. But it is what it is for now. But that opening. That's all I'm going to say is that opening. The episode itself was alright. It mainly dealt with Terapagos being very curious. Obviously it's been asleep for like decades, so it's not used to probably a lot of the technology on the ship. It probably, when it was around, technology was probably not as advanced as it is now, so it's not used to things. So it's going around the ship, kind of just figuring out everything. And as a result of Liko, spending a lot of time trying to find Terapagos, Spriggy gets a little jelly and is not really too happy with Liko. There's some interesting moments. Like, I like the part where Terapagos was eating the cake that Murdoch was making, and then it interrupts Dot's stream, which I thought was pretty funny, or at least the video that she was shooting for her upload to be uploaded. But that's kind of that's like the main focus, like not the main focus, that's like the focus for like half the episode. There's a part where like Terapagos goes out on the ship, goes to like a part of the ship where it basically can easily be blown off the ship, and Liko has to go and try and like save it. And it's interesting because it's actually calling out to something, which I believe it's probably calling out to maybe Rayquaza. Just because Rayquaza, as we find out later at the end of the episode, that Rayquaza was spotted in Galar, so maybe that's what it was calling out to, or it was calling out to Lucius. Not certain, but yeah, I will say that Liko had an Ash moment where she did something very dangerous, and like Siasm says in the chat, she almost died. She literally could have just fallen to her death right then and there if her grandmother wasn't actually aware, which actually was because of Spriggy. Spriggy actually noticed that Liko was doing something dangerous and got Liko's grandma's attention as she was sleeping. So she walks out, she sees what's going on, and saves Liko before it's too late. If it wasn't for that, Liko was doomed. So, but the one interesting thing in the episode is when Liko talks with her grandmother and talks about basically like Lucius and the 6 heroes. It's interesting because she Diana rips out a picture of Lucius, and Liko's like, yeah, I saw him. He basically showing up whenever we came into contact with the other heroes with Terapagos, and maybe that's why it's awakened. And it's interesting because Diana points out that, in all her travels with the pendant, it never once awakened. So, with Liko, it's a little different. She's making more progress than even her grandmother did. And she truly understands how her Pokemon feels. Which is something that Liko kind of realizes. It kind of comes full circle to her that, it's because of, her meeting up with Spriggy that she truly started to feel how Pokemon are. And and then as she develops her goal, and I guess the thing is that when she figured out what her goal would be, per se, she realized she wants to understand the feelings of Pokemon, so she kind of comes full circle and talks to Spriggy towards the end of the episode to make up with it, even though the conflict, I'll admit, was a little if I'm being honest. Kind of meh there. But it's interesting because Diana gives Liko Lucius's belt, which has the ancient Pokeballs that can be strapped onto it, which she says it feels right that she inherits it. And I like how Terapagos actually looks at Liko and sees Lucius in her. And it could be because maybe Lucius tried to understand how Pokemon feel as well. And maybe that, Liko's taken after Lucius in that regard, maybe. But another goal that Liko has, besides her own goal of understanding the feelings of Pokemon, is to help out Terapagos, as Terapagos was calling out to something. And it most likely was either the other 6 heroes that are still out there, or just to Lucius, who's possibly in that Rayquaza, that paradise that Lucius was looking for. So Liko wants to take the little guy out to Rayquaza, which good luck with that. I guess we'll find out how she's going to accomplish that later on. But for now, they're looking for the other heroes, which they don't have any leads for any of them. I mean, I'd say for Kleavor, it'd probably go to Sinnoh, since that was what Hisui later became. So I'd probably go there for that. But the other ones are going to be a little bit tricky because Lapras could be anywhere in the world. So they decide to go look for Rayquaza because it's probably nearby still. And as I said earlier, Dot chimes in when Roy was saying, "Oh, let's go find Rayquaza first." And she's like, "Well, speaking of that, it's actually spotted in the wild area. Let's go." So that kind of wraps that part of the episode up, and then the episode ends off with Ametheo kind of staring out. It looks like he's leaving Galar, ? I imagine he is, because they kind of failed. You could tell that he does feel a little defeated, just because he lost to Freed, and they kind of failed again. So maybe he's reflecting on his losses here. So Ametheo development, maybe? But that's where the episode comes to an end. If I'm being honest, for the most of the episode, the whole Spiritito being jealous of Terapagos, that part of the plot was kind of it's okay. I get that the whole point there was Terapagos is super curious about its surroundings. It's not used to the food, the other Pokemon food. The other Pokemon are used to it, but it's not. It's probably used to being more in the wild, so that's why it went to the berries. And it's not used to the technology on the ship. So there's that. But I'd say for part of the episode, it's kind of, all okay-ish. The interesting stuff was the stuff with Lucius, Rayquaza, Terapagos, and Liko getting the belt. No, that kind of threw me off. But yeah, overall, I'd say that part of the episode, that part of the episode was good. So I'm kind of leaning on a 6 or a 7. I might say a 6 just because I felt like most of the episode was okay at best. But the interesting stuff was interesting, if that makes sense. So I'd probably say maybe 6.5 out of 10. Probably I'd give the episode. Sounds fair to me. Oh, I probably should mention that the music playing in the background is from Game Chops and their video game study lounge. The link is in the description if you want to check that out. Just wanted to shout them out since I'm able to put their music in the background. So I figured I'd do that now of all times. So, yeah. Anyways, go ahead and let me know what you guys thought of the episode. Which currently there's only 2 people here, which is just... It looks like it's just me and you, Siasm. I sense a Metheo development. Me too. The opening... I'm wondering, too, because I was thinking about the opening. In the opening, I noticed there's one part, it looks like Metheo's training at the Explorer's headquarters with Mr. Butler there. I think his name is Hamber. is watching his training. So I'm wondering if we're going to get some more information there. Maybe we'll get an episode where we're just hanging out with the Explorers. I feel like we need that at some point. We just have an episode where you learn about the Explorers and get their backstory. Or at least a Metheo. That's kind of the feeling I got with that opening. There's something going on there. And obviously losing here. I'm wondering if he's going to be like... Not only taken, off from like exploring on his own for a little bit. Maybe he's going to have to like train up a lot. And then he comes back way stronger. Like I said, I think it was last week's discussion I mentioned that I feel like we're going to get to the point where Metheo is going to actually defeat Freed at some point. Making it, so that Liko and Roy have to step up and face off against a Metheo by themselves. Because that's what I'm getting from that, is that he's probably going to be getting some major training coming up. And maybe he, loses, the feeling with his Pokemon. He just loses his bond with his Pokemon or something like that through his training. And he ends up losing the Liko or something like that because she has stronger bonds with her Pokemon or something. I'm not sure, but I sense that something's going on there. What's up, Clawliz? What's up? Welcome to the stream. Seems pretty quiet today, so it's okay, though. 1 out of 2. In my opinion, this episode is a breather episode. After last week's episode, we got a recap at the start, which, though I'm kind of unhappy about it, this episode is just Terapagos goofing around the airship. Yeah, it's an alright episode. It's just not... it's not good or bad, I guess, is the thing about it. It's an okay-ish episode, in my opinion. I just think the best part of the episode is just learning more about Lucius and Terapagos, and now we have another goal for the crew. We are going to seek out the other of Lucius's Pokemon, along with seeking out his paradise for Terapagos. That's probably the best part of the episode. That's what keeps the plot going along. So I'd say, throughout this series, there hasn't been any filler, if you want to call it that. Each episode has some meaning to it, I guess, is the main thing. I enjoyed it with the opening. I gave it a 7. That's fair. I mean, it's not far off from my rating, so. The opening was great. It's just the best looking opening, ever for, any Pokemon opening. Like I said earlier, it looked like it came out from another anime. It looked like... Honestly, the visuals reminded me of, the visuals in the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War arc. Core 1. And maybe a little bit of Demon Slayer, but yeah. There are parts that are funny, and Liko almost died. Not gonna lie, it scared the out of me when she slipped. And the Diana and Liko is interesting, which I agree, because it leaves us so many questions. Even if Terapagos is goofing around, this could count as development for it in a way. Yeah, well, just because it's not familiar with a lot of things. It's been asleep for decades, so in the time that it's been away, technology has advanced. like I said earlier, it rejected the other, like the Pokemon food that the other Pokemon were eating because it's not used to it. It most likely was, when during its time, it was just mainly eating berries and stuff like that, and that's what it's used to. And it's like looking around at the technology and it doesn't know what to think of it, or it's just super curious. So yeah, overall 7 out of 10. That's fair. I will say I do like the fact that we don't have a definitive idea of where we're going next besides Galar. Just because we have no idea where the other the other of the 6 heroes is at. Like they said, Lapras could be anywhere. Entei is going to be really hard to track down. Kleavor is supposed to be like an extinct Pokemon. So who knows where it's actually at. It's probably just hiding somewhere. Diana and Liko conversation because chat limit. Gotcha. You're good. So that opening, good lord, my jaw was open for its entirety. Yeah, me too. Honestly, the second I saw it, because like I watched it in real time. I couldn't watch the full episode like when it aired, just because I was super tired. But I literally got up specifically to see the opening, and then I promptly went back to sleep for an hour. But yeah, very impressed. It's going to be hard to top this opening. I'm just going to say that right now. So imagine how opening 3's got to follow this up. You know? I saw a tweet where Liko's English VA saw it and she loved it. Oh, that's cool. I wonder when Horizons is going to come out. The dub, at least. I'm actually looking at her profile now because I want to see that. It's so pretty, she said. Nice. It's coming soon. That coming soon was almost 3 months ago. Whenever we had the Pokemon Presents last. This is super unfortunate. Arc 2 begins, but the English dub is nowhere in sight. My guess at this point is it's going to be January. Which seems like we still got a large gap. Because I was going to say, they already dubbed the ending of Journeys, so got quite a bit of a gap. I know we had a little bit of a gap between X, Y, and Sun and Moon, if I recall. This is going back like 6-7 years ago, though. Good lord. Was Sun and Moon really 6-7 years old? Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I think if I remember, the dub for Journeys started, it got announced during the hiatus back in like May of 2020, so that was like maybe 6 months after it aired, and then it went on break. So I think the dub started maybe June or July of 20 for that. So that would put it like what? 7 months, 8 months behind. Horizons has been out for over half a year, so maybe, like I said, January is what I'm thinking. Hopefully I'm wrong. And that comes out next month. I always hate when they do the coming soon and then the coming... it's not for like months and months later. I mean, the best thing they could have said was Pokemon Horizons 2024 or something like that. Who knows? I guess we'll see when they decide to drop the dub, at least the first like 12 episodes or so. We're at episode 26. I was kind of hoping maybe we had episodes airing by now, but it's going to be, if it's potentially going to be on Netflix, it's going to be, you know, in batches. Again. Sorry. I need my water. Give me 1 second. A while after watching the opening, I got a text from a friend of mine that said, WTF. WTF was that opening. I believe someone in my Discord actually posted that. They're just like, oh, new opening, finally. I'm like, I kind of posted it in another chat, but okay. That's funny. I think Nick is unfortunately working, so I can't make him watch the opening. But yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I'm still kind of blown away from it. You know, it's one of those things where you just didn't expect it. Because, like, I knew the opening was coming. I just didn't know what to expect from it. Yeah, the first frames of that opening, as soon as you see it, you're just like, whoa. And then you see the rest of it. I watched that, I think. Like, I woke up later on, and then I watched it maybe, like, 5 or 6 times. Because I was like, no way. Did I really watch this in real time? Just needed to confirm that. I like how in this episode Liko chose not to call Freed. Actually, yeah, I noticed that. She basically jumped into action herself. Like I said earlier, she pulled an Ash when she did that. She did something super dangerous, but she did it because she wants to save Terapagos, who was potentially going to be in danger. Also, one thing I noticed is that they mentioned that if we see the other hero, is that Terapagos is slowly going to regain its strength, or its energy. So maybe when we see the other heroes, we get to see Terapagos in its actual form. That's the key, maybe. And maybe when it actually gets to its full power, maybe that's when we go to Rakuo. Excuse me. It's just a theory. A Pokemon Horizons theory. Not a game theory. Gotcha with that one. Not gonna lie, I have hopes down for the opening back then. I wonder if they're gonna build upon that. Yeah, that's what I'm interested to see. You mean build on Liko not calling for Freed. It could be a sign that Liko is actually, becoming a bit more independent and that she doesn't necessarily need Freed to, like, save her every time. It makes sense in the beginning of the series because she's a newbie trainer and these are, like, powerful trainers that are coming after her that she has no chance of winning against. So her, eventually going into action, I think, is going to be some development for her, maybe. Maybe this is, like, the seeds for something coming up where, like, she gets stuck in a situation where, like, Freed is, like, held up and she has to make a choice. And her choice is to, like, spring into action or save her Pokemon or do something. That could be the case. I also wondered, Liko in tune with the Pokemon's feelings is why she activated the pendant, but I wonder if there's more to that. There could be. I mean, my thought was that, like, it's slowly been happening. It also seemed to respond to her whenever she was in trouble, like in episode 1. And she kind of just didn't know what to think of it at the time. And as she met the other heroes, like she met the giant orb Olivia, that was when they got the first memory. And then obviously Galarian Moltres, it finally came out. Maybe because, like, she developed her goal. Because she didn't have her goal during the Paldea portion of the first chapter. But during the Galar one is when she got her focus. And decided what her goal would be. So maybe, like, her becoming more confident, realizing she has weaknesses and she wants to grow from that is maybe why she was able to bring Terapagos out of the pendant. That could be why. It's just her just developing and becoming more in tune with her Pokemon and her feelings and wanting to know more about the feelings of Pokemon that caused it to happen. That could be potentially why. Or it could be for some other reason, we just don't know. Indigo Disc hasn't come out, so that also might drop some more hints on Terapagos. I wonder when Indigo Disc comes out. Which my guess for that would probably be January or February next year. And then we'll know more. But yeah, we've had 4 votes so far, and currently what's winning is 8 or 7 out of 10. Seems about right. So I think we're going to move on from here. So we already talked about the episode. Now going into the next episode, and beyond. So let's talk about that. So we're going after the Black Rayquaza, however you want to say its name. And obviously, if you've read the summary for the next episode, you know that it seems like those reports were fake. Do you think that it was just because of rumors, or do you think the explorers are up to something, or it's just a coincidence? I don't think we have a summary for episode 28 yet. I think we have a title for it, just no summary yet. I can double check that though. That's pretty much as far as we got so far. I'm kind of waiting for some new episode titles and summaries so that we know what's coming up next. I think we're probably going to get an idea where Rayquaza is going next. And that's what's going to lead us to the next region / hero. I also made a meme on the OP joking about how the first OP had ray tracing turned off. Oh, really? That makes me want to go back and rewatch the first opening. I was going to say, do you have that meme on your Twitter? Because because I want to look at it. Oh, you haven't posted it yet. Okay, never mind. You did make other memes, okay. I guess whenever you post the meme, just at me. Hold up 1 second. I'm getting an error message from YouTube. Give me 1 second to look at it really quickly. Just make sure they're not having an issue. Okay, we should be good. Hopefully. If anything goes wrong, just say something in the chat. I do think that we're probably getting close to the end of our time in Galar, though. I'm kind of hoping maybe we see another character before we leave and go on to the next place. Fingers crossed it's Nessa, but not getting my hopes up at this point. I'm just going to turn this one down slightly. And it's posted. Gotcha. Let me take a look at it. It's hilarious knowing how true it is. Oh, I see what you did there. Siasm, I will link it right here. There you go. Okay, what was I talking about again? Yeah, like I was saying, I get the feeling we're pretty much coming to a close with the Gallard portion of this story. I give it maybe a couple more episodes before we figure out where we're going next. There's got to be probably one more conflict, I would say, before we head off. I know the explorers are going to be meeting during next week's episode, so they're going to be discussing what they're doing next, or maybe handing out punishments because they kind of lost. Who knows? I'm trying to think, what else can we talk about? Yeah, we might get Agate, or whatever her name is. She's probably gonna be the one that's coming after them next, is what I'm thinking. I'm not sure if it's going to happen now or when we go to the next region, but I think it's probably what's coming next. Amethio is going to need some development here and getting stronger. But yeah, I think we're going to probably figure out where we're going next probably very soon. Maybe we figure out where Lapras is at. And when you think about it, Lapras is probably going to be a hard one to find because it's just like, which Lapras is going to be Lucius or one of his Pokemon? Yeah, it could be any one of them. But if it's like the last two that we encounter, there's probably something going on with it where it's causing problems or something. That'll probably clue them in. Probably. Well, I've got nothing else to say, and I'm getting hungry. So until next time, gotcha. Okay. Well, thank you for joining. Thanks for the meme. It was funny. It's a pleasure. So I will see you in the next one. Thank you for joining. Okay. Fortunately, it doesn't look like we got a bit of a crowd today, like last week. So we'll probably just go on here for just a little bit longer unless we start getting some people showing up here. But, is there anything else? Sizen, you got anything for me? I'm also getting kind of hungry, too. It's lunchtime. Okay. I'm just looking this up really quickly. See if we got any summary for episode 28. It's just called The Stolen Treasure. Oh, we do have a summary. Okay. I'm wrong. Okay, it says Liko Roy freed stop at antique shop right with Diana's acquaintance Tepin, though are unsuccessful in learning more about the ancient monster balls. However, on the way back to the ship, something unexpected happens to Roy. Yeah, there can't really make a discussion video on that because there's not really a ton of context on this, like, at all. So, yeah, I'll just wait until we have more episode titles and summaries before I make another discussion video. Alright, this is the opposite of last week's stream where it went on for 2.5 hours. It seems like this one's not even going to hit the 1 hour mark. Alright, seeing as we got kind of a low turnout here, it wasn't exactly, you know, the most, like, crazy episode either, so I can understand why maybe more people showed up for last week's stream than this one. It's okay, though. But, yep, I'm going to go ahead and, probably get in this stream probably here in a minute. Unless anybody has any thoughts before we go. I can extend this stream if anyone shows up. I see 2 people are watching. Pretty please. I'm kind of concerned about Agate's ace, though. Metacharm. I guess we'll have to see it in action before we, you know, see what it's fully capable of. I do think that explorers need, like, more of a W, though. I will say after last week's episode, I feel like there needs to be a little bit more urgency there. I wonder if sometime during this arc, Terapagos is going to be captured. So it's mega sure. I mean, I guess we'll have to see, because, I mean, if they're an admin for the Explorers, they gotta be at least pretty strong. So, I guess we'll see. Yeah, I'm just curious where we're heading to. I'm wondering when we're gonna go into the next region. Maybe December? Probably around then, maybe. But yeah, just remember, guys, Terapagos must be protected at all costs. Or else the Risingville Tacklers are going to come after you. But anyways, is there anything else, guys? Anything you want to chat about? The floor is yours. I see 3 people are watching. You want to step up and say something, go right ahead. If not, we can probably bring the stream to a close. Anything? Going once? Going twice? Oh, here we go. Are they really going to the Hisui region for Cleavor? I imagine they won't. I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna go to Sinnoh. And they're going to find it somehow. It's probably hiding away somewhere. Maybe deep within Mount Coronet or something. Or the Interna Forest or something, because... Didn't you battle it in Legends Arceus? At least in the Hisui version of Eterna Forest. That's what I would think. It's either there or there. Maybe when they actually get close to it, like Terapagos resonates with it or something, and it causes it to like emerge or something, awaken from like a slumber or something. Who knows? It's all going to depend on how they go about it. I am kind of excited to see Cleavor, though, because I think that's the first Hisui Pokemon that we legitimately see within the series, because Journey's had the Arceus special episodes, and we saw them, but they weren't like shown. It was just like, oh, these Pokemon used to exist. But yeah, so Lapras is like I said again, I think Lapras is either Kanto or Alola. Maybe like 65-70% it's going to be an Alola, 30% Kanto, 35% Kanto. Sinnoh for Cleavor, and then Johto for Entei. We'll see where Unova and Kalos fit in the mix. Okay, it's a little unfortunate, but I'm not really seeing a whole lot of people here today compared to last week, so I think I'm going to bring this stream to a close here. We've been going on for about 50 minutes, so we went from 2.5 hours to just a 51-minute stream, so oh well. Can't all be the best. I don't know what to say. It's okay, they'll go. At least I got a few of you to show up here today. But yeah, we'll bring the stream to a close. We'll be streaming again next week for episode 27. Hopefully it's a good one. We're going to the wild area. Gonna be making some curry. And then we have an episode with Liko, Roy, Freed, and they're going to hang out with one of Diana's associates or something. That's in episode 28, so yeah. Well, we should be getting some episode titles or summaries soon, so I'll be making a video on that soon, at least as soon as I get that information. But yeah, let's go ahead and bring the stream to a close. We didn't really get many votes this time around. We only got 6. Apparently 9 and 10 won. That's kind of a shocker. Are we really calling this episode a 9 or a 10? I mean that. Yeah, I'll give it to you guys. I guess we'll give this an episode a 9, since I'm leaving the rating to you guys. So that's what the people voted for. I guess we'll give it to them. I still say this episode's like a 6 or 6.5 myself. Some people said 7. So yeah, we'll end it there. So guys, thank you for joining. For the few that were here today, have a good day or night wherever you're at, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right. Bye, everyone.